And welcome back to SA Sports Show. I'm Greg Ennis, my co-host Barry Curtin. Show's been great fun, mate. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Always
but I really enjoy this segment. I enjoy watching. I enjoy being part of it.
Well, all right.
You beat me up last week. You absolutely floored me with the controversy corny with Bevo. And of course, we missed you last week, and it was just toe-to-toe. Me and Barry were going toe-to-toe, mate.
Head-to-head.
And he defeated me.
Head-to-head with Ando.
He was too good on the cricket. But anyway.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? Hey,
he was good.
Big congratulations to you,
Thank
mate.
you,
Hall of Famer.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a really big thrill, and last Monday night. And, sort of pinched myself when I got the letter a few weeks ago, and I was over the moon.
Well deserved.
Over the moon. And with Peter Motley as well. I mean,
yes, of course.
He was just an absolute superstar. And
I'll tell you what, I saw some highlights of Ando and playing. I can remember Ando playing.
He doesn't look any different, does he?
I was only 3 at the time, but I can remember. What a player. Well deserved, mate.
Thanks,
well,
mate.
it was, you know. I said it earlier in the show, but, you know, well done, mate. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Well said. Unfortunately, we have to start on a sad note, though. Boys, obviously, we saw the passing the other day of Spud Frawley, which is just horrible, isn't
Tragic,
it? So,
mate.
thoughts are with his family and friends, of course. And Ando, you played against him, so you know him pretty well.
Yeah,
so.
I've been a little bit of time just when he was doing his media. He was a very good friend of Paul Salmon, and Paul came over for the last Monday night for the Hall of Fame night. And he showed me the news as we were walking across the bridge to Adelaide Oval, and he was pretty cut up. And I met him a couple of times through the media with Paul, and he was a fantastic guy. I played against him, but a lot of times you don't, meet the guys that you play against. And but from all reports, and that's we're talking from the 80s. This bloke was a quality guy, just a quality guy, quality captain, quality player, and what a star in the media.
Yeah, it's just so sad, isn't it? Yeah, definitely thoughts with everyone.
It's a wide range of people that he touched.
Yeah.
My wife is not a...
He's a funny guy, a very funny guy. He made life in the media a bit of fun for once.
The Bounce was one of my favourite shows.
It was so funny.
No, I was the same. My wife is not a football person. I'm not a big follower of the football and whatever, but she even came out to me and said, that is so tragic. I mean, it's tragic with anyone losing a car accident, but she said it was so sad to see Spud Frawley. And I thought, well, how do you know Spud Frawley? But she pokes her head in maybe when I'm watching The Bounce. And
he's one of the good guys in the media.
And whatever.
He's one of the
really
good guys
sad.
in the media.
And it just goes to show, to be careful out there on the roads. It's tragic that someone we know, but every day there's people we don't know doing the same thing, and that's
well said, Paz.
That's a tragedy. Just be careful.
I guess we'll find out. We'll probably find out in the end what happened.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's a car accident, and it's something that we dread.
Yeah, that's right.
Shocking news.
We better get on with it though, boys. And,
now get my gloves on.
Yes,
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go now.
What do you got, Bevo?
We'll start with cricket. And what about this Steve Smith versus Steve Harmison? Isn't Harmison just an absolute goose? For the people that don't know what's going on out there, Harmison's come out and said that Steve Smith will always be known as a cheat because of what's happened with South Africa. But what he's forgotten is that English people have done ball tampering. South Africans, like Du Plessis, has been caught 3 times as a tamperer. And the only reason they got 12 months is because the Australian board wanted to actually come down pretty hard on them. Otherwise, they'd have only got
other countries got out lightly.
Exactly.
Very lightly.
So,
that Du Plessis, the South African captain, got fined his match fee.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, for something,
cheating.
Just for cheating, basically.
So it's a joke.
But Harmison's tour.
So what's that?
The tour that Steve Harmison was on, that tour has admitted. That team has admitted to cheating with the ball. So where does Harmison get off?
What a hypocrite.
Who is Harmison anyway?
Yeah, exactly. He's the guy that bowled that no ball. So.
Van Gogh, he bowled the biggest wide in the history of the world.
Yeah.
In the first ball of a Test Ashes series in Brisbane.
First
ball of an Ashes.
Absolute
and the ball was taken by second or third slip, I remember catching the ball up
I'm surprised some of the crowd didn't catch it. It was that wide bat.
That's what he's remembered for. I know what I'd rather be remembered for.
Well, hasn't he come back beautifully though? I mean, look, he served his 12 months, and even there, he was wonderful to the media. He was doing so much community work with the kids, and then he comes back in the lineup and. Oh my God!
Can we now compare him? Can we compare him with Viv Richards and Tendulkar now? Do you think?
I think he's got to be up there now. When a player like Steve Waugh comes out and says, do we now put him in that category? Then he should be in that category.
Absolutely.
Because Steve Waugh was a fine player himself.
A very tough man as well.
A very tough man, but he puts Smith in that category now. Well, you know, when he first came on the scene, I must admit I was going, whoa, no, this kid can't play.
Really? Because apparently his technique.
Shocking.
They reckon his technique shocking.
And he came in as a leg spinner.
The thing with it is, Ando, as I tell people now, if you watch Steve Smith very closely, he probably gets in the best position of any batsman in the world. Even though he makes all those movements around the crease, when the ball is bowled, he is in the perfect position.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need all that peripheral stuff that he does. He doesn't need that. He knows how to get into really good position.
Textbook technique.
Brilliant.
He hasn't got.
No. Well, in effect, mate, it's very hard to explain. On one hand, he hasn't got a technique, but on the other hand, he's got a brilliant technique. So
exactly.
it's a real tricky one.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Because sometimes he looks like he's about to get bowled with the perfect Yorker, but he just defends it.
Well,
it's amazing.
To have the eye that he's got, because he moves across the crease and he'll take a ball off stump. If he wants a single, he'll take a ball off stump minute beyond the square leg umpire.
Oh,
with ease.
He's brilliant.
Where 90% of the batsmen in the world would try that and would get it on the pad.
Yeah.
So he's a really good player. Yeah, put him up there. Because Root says he was a difference between the two sides. In a way, he was, but I would put Pat Cummins in that category as well.
He's been amazing.
Steve Smith and Pat Cummins together,
Fantastic.
Hazelwood to a certain degree, and
it's a team effort.
Even a guy like Labuschagne.
Oh, he's been incredible.
You know, he only came in for the last. He's only had 4 innings or something, but when he came in, had an immediate impact. Both with catching, batting, and he's just infectious.
And his leggies as well.
And his leggies in the end. So good. Anna, you said it. Pretty much a really good team performance, especially coming back after Headingley, where they had that world record, big run chase, and that can easily melt your mind.
It could have been terrible. It could have
dropped their head easily, couldn't
but
they?
easy for the Australians to come back and. They smashed them in this test, let's face it. They gave them a hiding.
Yeah, they deserve to win it.
And that, to me, shows great character, and I think Justin
well done.
Yeah, well said. Well said, absolutely. Let's talk footy as well, boys, because Port take on, not Port, the Crows take on Glenelg this week, and for a spot to take on Port in the grand final for the SANFL. And could we see a SANFL showdown, and wouldn't that just be unbelievable for maybe the wrong reasons?
Look, Glenelg have been a team all year, and I think they've got the players to win against the Crows. But I've been thinking of lately that if the Crows do make it, and it is a grand final in the old showdown, I think it's fantastic for SANFL. I think because the two teams, the players, I think the culture of those players that are missing out in the AFL each week, and the rookies, and they're staying down in the SANFL, will then really appreciate that this is a great competition. You're going to get 40,000 people to a grand final. Don't whinge because you get dropped and all that, or you come back. You go and represent your club wholeheartedly because the team has an opportunity to make its way to a wonderful opportunity, and that's a premiership in the SANFL, and that's a big part of South Australian football.
Yeah, well said, Ando.
You're going to get shot, Ando, for saying that by a lot of people. There's groups out there, the fans of the SANFL,
they don't want them in there.
AFL and the SANFL. Do you know, it's funny, isn't it? On the weekend, I got a Glenelg supporter bashing my ear about us having AFL listed players and all this sort of thing, which is regular. It's a common thing. But then I thought about it and I thought, hang on a minute. Let's go through the Bays lineup.
There's a lot of ex-AFL players.
There's a lot of ex-AFL players. So, there's no argument.
Look,
there.
at the end of the day,
these are kids virtually.
There was when Centrals had their run, and we played against when I was coaching South. Every player in that Centrals team that had been on an AFL list.
There you go.
Every 21 had been on an AFL list. I don't know how.
There you go.
Because to me, I know they got caught at the end of the year by the salary cap.
That's fine.
Every player on that game, the oval that ran out against South Adelaide had been on AFL list. So I don't take that at all as an argument because, of course,
it's not an argument
because of the fact that if you want to be strong in the SANFL, you've got to have players who are finishing their careers in the AFL, who have been delisted in the AFL, and you'll find that most teams, especially in that top 5 or 6, have all got a good number of players that have had AFL experience. So when you start talking about the Port Power and the Crows, these teams have probably got more experience than those teams of the SANFL. When you look at the numbers games that are played in the AFL, look at Nord, for instance, last year.
Nord has a lot of XAFL.
So it's not an argument to me.
No, Nord's best player in the game against Sturt in the elimination.
So you guys are making sense. Why can't all these other Muppets out there understand this, though, Ando?
Don Barry, who just got delisted by Port.
I don't understand.
I think it's really important that, you know,
that's what it is.
Look, I think Glenelg deserve it, and if they don't, I think this game is really important for SANFL, for the other clubs to say, you know what, the players that are playing for Port and Crows in the SANFL aren't, yes, there's a big percentage of their mindset going out in the field is to win this game because they could be part of something very special at the end of the season. At the moment, they might not have that.
Yeah, I agree.
But one team could have it in
Andy, you make
2 weeks.
perfect sense, but the most frustrating thing is that people can't see that. They think that basically, you know, if the Crows and Port are in the grand final for the SANFL, they're not going to follow SANFL anymore. I'm seeing that on social media, and I'm like, I can't believe this.
None of that makes sense because
these people are just Muppets.
These people on social media that come and criticise you.
You barrack for your team. It's not really a suburbs as such anymore because of the fact they're all recruiting from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, when you look, we are, you know, Bomber supporters are screaming, yelling for their team Bombers. There's not too many that are brought up in Napier Street anymore, and there's no little Timmy Watson who was brought up around the corner.
Windy Hill, exactly.
Windy Hill.
Yeah.
You know, they are from everywhere in Australia. So grab your Guernsey, you know, barrack passionately for it.
Get out there and do it.
But you never know, that goal kicker could have been from Brisbane who just got delisted for, you know.
Yeah, no, well said. It's the same as the Power. A lot of those guys, young Victorian lads, and they are young. They're only 19, 20-year-olds. They're playing against bigger bodies, and people don't. Yeah, they're like, they train every day and stuff.
There's still a chip on the shoulder there for a lot of people.
And you speak to a few people from, I've spoken to a few of the players from North Adelaide last year, and a couple that come in from the state. It's the best day of their life.
Of course it is.
Of course,
the best day of their life.
Of course it is.
SANFL Grand Final Premiership.
And do you know what? I spoke to Max Proud last week, and he loves these guys love playing against AFL listed players like Charlie Dixon and these guys that come down and play for the Magpies when they're dropped or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they think it's fantastic.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge, exactly.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you're not going to get a big crowd as well, which is always nice.
Yes.
Bevo, thanks very much for coming in.
Always a pleasure, boys.
Brilliant. And,
congrats again, Endo.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Baz.
We'll be back after the break.
Good to see you.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.